of the GMS Mississippi Camp, giving our honor and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahawah Bahashim Yahawashi, Bahashro Hakodash. I also want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone Ruwell, as well as peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. And what I want to go into today is a topic entitled Straight Out of Yahawah Bahashim Yahawashi. Straight out of Yahawah Bahashim Yahawashi. As it says in the scriptures, what's that? Is it 2 Corinthians 5 and 17? Salaki, it's first or second. But it says, they that are of Yahawashi are of a new creature. All right? Old things are done away, all things are made new. They that are Yahawashi of a new creature, which is why I entitled the live stream Straight Out of Yahawah by Yahawashi. All right, because the Israelite man that you see in the highways and the byways, all right, and the hopefully elect sisters, okay, they're not African Americans, all right, they're not none of the archetypes that Esau's social construct constructed, all right, meaning they are not the Negroes, all right, we're not Native Americans, we're not Indians, all right, the Israelites, the hopefully elect, all right. Hey, shalom, shalom. All right. The Israelite man, the hopefully elect, that's straight out of the world of Yahawashi. We come from the world of Yahawashi. All right. So meaning that we are not, like I said, these categories that Esau creates for us. That's what this demon does, man. This evil motherfucker does. He creates categories. All right. That's what the accuser means when it comes to the accusers of our brother. He creates categories to put us in. All right. All right. And we lived after those categories before we came into this truth, man. Hey, shalom, brother Yahawah Bahashim Awashai, Bahashim Kakudash Barakatah. Hey, when you coming back through the silk, man. You don't have to answer on the comment, boy, but you need to come back through the silk, man. All right. But um we're straight out of Yahawashi, man. All right. We are not the categories or the Esau compartmentalized us, man. All right. When we became new creatures and Yahawah Bahashim Yahawashi, he struck our old self with lightning. He struck the archetypes that we were in prison under. All right. He struck um the categories that we were subjugated to. He struck it with spiritual lightning, man. Con, bro, con. All right. He struck it with spiritual lightning, man. Okay. And long story short, all right, we're no longer that person. All right, we're no longer the dude Trevante. We're no longer Demarcus. The sisters in this truth, in this faith, they're not Keisha Tamika anymore, quote unquote, man. All right. We're fresh out of we're like aliens. Just how you describe the angelic forces being from another world, all right? We're from another world. But ironically, we're from the ancient world, man. All right, we're very ancient. But the brothers in this truth, all right, and the hopefully elect, we're straight from another world, man. That's why the scripture says, uh, well, damn. It speaks about our dwelling. But basically, in this, when we're in the spirit, in this truth, it's a dwelling, but it's like a dwelling from beyond. And brothers who teach on the highways and the byways, and when you link together and do lessons, you get in the spirit. It's like you're not physically here. All right, you're physically here, but you're not spiritually here. I mean, all right, you do a lesson, and you get in that high vibration when you doing a lesson. It's as though you're not here, but we're from a different world, man. We're from beyond. All right. All right. The way we dress, when we keep these laws, and then we absorb the spirit of Yahawah Bahashim Yahawashi, we're from a different world. And when Yahawashi enters into this planet, all right, he's literally gonna be that man, all right, carved without stone, all right, that's from a different world. And the Shalom Zaquan, Yahawah Bahashim Yahawashi, Bahashim Hakodash Barakatah. All right. We're straight out of Yahawah Bahashim Yahawashi. All right, the food that we eat. Our brothers eat lamb now, man. I didn't eat no fucking lamb when I grew up. We couldn't afford no lamb. But even it's not that I make so much money now. It's just that we had pork chops growing up. Now what do we have? Lamb chops, lamb kebabs, chicken shawarmas. All right. We eat hummus, brother. I didn't know what a hummus was when I was in the world, man. We're from the land of old. We're from the past, man. All right. We're from the past, man. This world that we're in is from the old way, man. All right. We're from the old past, man. All right. We're straight out of Yahawah Bahashim outside. We're straight out of Yahawah Bahashim outside. Like I'm looking at this restaurant and they sell euros. All right. And one thing that's advertised from where I'm looking at is euros, man. All right. Now America gives you what? Hamburgers. But the ancient way gives you what? Euros. Or the Middle East, they sell euros, man. Now I don't know if that started in Jerusalem, but shit, really everything starts in Jerusalem, man. We found out that etiquette starts in Jerusalem. In the book of Sirach, the 42nd chapter, in the Good News translation, it speaks about the things that you should be ashamed of, or things that you should not do, right? You should have shame about. And one of the things that it named was eating with your elbow on the table. All right, the water's a coin. One thing that it named was eating with your elbow on the table, man. And if you go into the history of the Crusades, right? See, what people don't understand, the Bible wasn't really meant, the word wasn't meant for the common man. It was really meant for the elect. All right? All right? It was meant for the nobility of Israel, man. Now, don't get me wrong, you have the laws. All right, but this whole book, man, is really for the elect, the house of David, man. The house of David is not just a big family. Yes, a family, but it's a noble family. But going back to the point, Sirach 42, it says, Sirach 42, Good News translation, it tells you that one thing you should be ashamed of is leaning on a table. Because Sirach, the book of Sirach teaches you etiquette. Now, it just so happened, Jake, during the Crusade period, they were fighting to get their land back from Ishmael. But in that process, they had a lot of trade routes. And in that process, they got a lot of customs from the Middle East. And because of those trade routes, and because of that interaction with, I would say, Ishmael, all right, they got a lot of the etiquette from the Middle East. And from the etiquette from the Middle East caused the customs of the French. The etiquette from the Middle East, all right, gave the French, all right, was the beginning of the French having etiquette. Like when you look at the ballrooms and the ballet dances, that all, or the conduct in Europe, the conduct in Europe, all right, came from the etiquette in the Middle East. The conduct in Europe came from the etiquette in the Middle East. Just look up the Crusades and Middle Eastern influence under the Crusade period, man. And I just showed you, and the brother could get it, but Bakashah, Sirach 42, Good News translation, it tells you about leaning on the table. That's a display of etiquette, man. All right, or a lack of etiquette. Etiquette goes back to little signs. These are little rules that you follow. All right, all right. The customs and the opulence of Europe, because Europe was basically like a dry place, man. Table manners come from Jake, man. So you got these loud, fat mouth Christians that's loud and obnoxious and fat, but they swear they love God, so to speak. They love them some Jeebus, right? But you look at them at Golden Corral, man. Look how uncouth and unrefined Jake is, man. And they eating and smacking this shit. Don't get me wrong. We Southern Kingdom, man. Jake love to eat. But we're getting all that back, man. All right? But really, man, the so-called black man, see, going back to the category of us being YNs and sexy red and shit, right? No, Jerusalem, the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American man, we're noble because of our bloodline, but the Most High gave us conduct in this planet Earth, man. All right? So Those royal customs, man, right, came from Jake, man. It didn't come from some fucking Edomite. I was just researching a book. All right, I was just researching a book called The Delectable. What it's called? The Delectable Negro. It's called The Delectable Negro, and it goes into the history of Jake in America being eaten by Edomites in America during slavery. The delectable Negro, and it goes into Jake being a victim of cannibalism culture in America. Jake was a victim of cannibalism culture in America. And one thing they don't tell you in the history books, that Esau culturally ate the so-called black man and probably Gad in America during slavery. All right. They ate him. They ate Nat Turner. All right. They ate him. Like, one thing that Esau wants to get away from is his cannibalistic Jeffrey Dahmer nature. That's not just that one dude. There's a cannibalism culture in America. And in slavery, it was very prominent, man. All right. So Esau wants to be the face of class and prestige, while Jake is supposed to be some savage, man, when it's actually the contrary. The contrary, man. All right. Even during the so-called Dark Ages, man. I think it was the era of the Dark Ages. So-called archaeologists, all right, they was going into Egypt and they was digging up mummy remains and eating them. They were eat. You could look it up. 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 All right. I'm sorry, brother. The wild, it was Sirach 41. I get those two chapters mixed up. But Esau. So what does it tell you? If you look up the delectable Negro, I could be pronouncing that word wrong. The delectable Negro. All right. And look up the eating of mummies in the Dark Ages. And these are facts. Esau was eating mummy remains, all right, in Europe. He would go to Egypt and dig out mummy remains, man. And they would eat them because they thought it contained magic powers, all right? And they brought that same mindset to the Americas. Oh, man, it's a small world, bro. So, hey, the brother just said he got the book, man. So Esau has a nature. It's no such thing as a fucking white man. All right. Esau didn't bring prominence and prestige to Europe, man. All right. This is our forefather Job said what? They that are younger than I, meaning they have less dignity. All right. Now, if you go into they that are younger than I, they came out of the dark nations. We civilized them. But if you look up the word younger, it goes into ignoble. They were fucking low lives. They were fucking low lives, man. They were fucking low lives, man. All right. That's why you watch, you go into the real history of Edomites. The Grecian army. What did Jake call them? Or the Lacedaemonians, the Spartans called the Grecians. Those boy lovers. Those boy lovers. Man, Alexander was with them T-boys, man. He was with them alphabet niggas, man. All right. Roxanne was looking at Alexander like, man, what the fuck wrong with this nigga, man? I don't know if y'all saw Alexander, man. Alexander, you know. But let me get these scriptures, man. All right, but I'm making a contrast. I'm making a comparison, man. You're royal, man. All right, and 2/3 of our people, they're under the spell of black culture. They're under the spell of being the 2/3 of being the category that Esau put you in. But let me get these scriptures in Tawada Akim. This is from GMS Tazadak Da Bun Yahawah the 144. Sirach 32:1. If thou be made the master of a feast, lift not thyself up, but be among them as one of the rest. Take diligent care for them, and so sit down. This is called etiquette, man. All right, cause hey, man, let me just continue with Salak, man. I'm passionate about it because this has been taken from us, and who we were has been taken from us. And it's like, bro, this came from us, man. All right. Verse 32. And when thou hast done all thy office, take thy place, that thou mayest be merry with them and receive a crown for thy well ordering of the feast. Because having feasts was a part of the customs in Jerusalem. You can look it up. And that was part of our customs to have feasts, man. All right. Now this is from at the water, brother. Sirach 41:19, GNT. Before your neighbors be ashamed of theft, be ashamed of breaking a promise, of leaning on the dinner table with your elbows, of stinginess when you are asked for something. This is called etiquette. Sirach can rightfully be called the book of etiquette. All right. Proverbs 10:31. Envy not thou the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. And Esau is still eating Jake. Hence, organ harvesting, all right, the kidnapping and the missing of Israelites. What is it in us that they want to eat us? What is it about us that they know about us that they want to eat us? Now, let me make some clarifications. We not the fucking mummies, man. Were there Israelites that came into power in Egypt? Yeah. Joseph was one. But generally, those mummies were Hamites, man. All right? Those pharaohs were Hamites. But what is it about melanated people or whatever, man, that they feel like if they eat us, they have the powers? And guess what? Some of those rituals work for them. That's why they're in power. But what is it with this dark motherfucker's nature that he gotta eat us, man? Drinking blood, man. It empowers him, man. Jeremiah 51:19. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. Yahawah of hosts is his name. Okay? So, this demon, man, he runs the planet, man. But it's Jake that's from another planet, so to speak. Jake is from the hey, man. Jake is the peacock that in the earth, man. Jake is that majestic lion walking amongst everybody. And Israelite women, when they're in the frame of being Israelites, and that's royalty. Their natural woolly hair, their glowy skin, or you might have long hair like a Northern Kingdom woman. When you're in the frame of an Israelite, when you are in order, you are the best on the earth, man. All right? But when you're out of order, when you're out of that royal frame, you're trash. You see? Same thing with Jake, man. We are not just by genealogy. We created customs. The feasts are important to this day. In the Middle East, we have feasts. All right, because a lot of transactions took place during banquets and feasts, man. We're immortal, living amongst mortals. That was the original plan. All right, let me get this right quick. Matthew 5:14. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. All right. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it give light unto all that are in the house. Matthew 5:16. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. All right, we're not from this fucking world, man. All right, and the Most High is giving us our heritage back. And the word heritage is a very powerful word that I like, because the word heritage has a key word or key element in that word, which goes back to heir. The key word within heritage is heir, H-E-I-R. We're heirs of a customs. We're heirs of a promise. We're heirs of a way. There's a way that we walk in this planet. All right. And we're heirs of that way. The way before the flood. All right. The way of old, man. It's straight out of Yahawah, Yahawashi, man. Okay? Deuteronomy 4 and 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great, who have the Most High so nigh unto them, as Yahawah our power is in all things that we call upon him for? Deuteronomy 4 and 8. And what nation is there so great that they have statutes and judgments, so righteous as all this law which I set before you this day? Deuteronomy 4 and 9. Only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently, that thou forget the things, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, unless they depart from thy heart all the days of thy life. But teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons, man. We inherited away the water, brother, pursuant to Deuteronomy 4 and 8. And it says in verse 9 that you teach your sons and your sons' sons. You pass down that way. That's law. That's a commandment. You pass down the way to your sons' sons, man. Okay? But that's the point. No, we're not of this world, man. Because you got a lot of Israelites that know they're Israelites, but they embrace urban culture. They embrace Jake culture. They can't take the fitted cap off, man. Or they can't not do a rap concert, man. We're not from this world, man. All right, and we're not the categories that Amalek has forged for us that cause us to transgress from our power, so they could get the promise, man. All right, we are the sons of the promise, man. We're heirs of the promise, and we're straight from age. We're from immortality, man. We're from eternity, man. All right. But with that, I hope you brothers and sisters were edified. The water for tuning in. All right. The water for tuning in. The water for the scriptures. All right. Let me get this final scripture. All right. Jeremiah 33 and 23. Moreover, the word of Yahawah came to Jeremiah, saying, considerest that thou not what this people have spoken, saying, the two families which Yahawah have chosen, he have even cast them off. Thus they despise my people, that they should be no more a nation before them. All right, let me make sure I'm reading this in order. Nope, Salak. Jeremiah 33 and 24. I'll read that again. Consider thou not what this people have spoken, saying, the two families which Yahawah have chosen, he have even cast them off. Thus they have despised my people, that they should be no more nation before them. Verse 25. Thus saith Yahawah, if my covenant be not with day and night, and if I have not appointed the ordinance of heaven and earth, then will I cast away the seed of Jacob and David my servant, so that I will not take any of his seed to be rulers over the seed of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, for I will cause their captivity to return and have mercy on them. All right? Hey, but that's pretty much the point. And with that, to the next time, shalom.